going back to that motivation, where you were drawing motivation from, you talked about how, your brothers had kind of set a precedent for you in terms of the hard work. You seem to also have, and this is just a reality. People who tend to go really well have this internal drive, have an internal motivation. But were there any other sources of motivation, leading up to assessments and exams, or just for the whole HSC in general, that kept you accountable, that kept you going?
There was this app, I forgot the name of it, but it was one where there was about a group of 7 of us. We were all in the same English class. What happened was, you'd open the app, you'd press a button, and it would essentially lock you in that app, and you can't go out of the app, and it counts how long you were then studying for, right? If you go out of that app, then your study session cancels and you don't accumulate those hours. It was almost like, a friendly competition, who's going to accumulate the most hours, and it continued. Yeah, because everyone's competing, right? Yeah. So that's essence. A lot of it was just personal. Like, I just really wanted to do the best I possibly could. Like, it's probably a cliche, but I really just wanted to maximize the mark I could. Since you only have one chance at the HSC, it's 12 months where, if you can put other things aside, if you can focus on it, and I just wanted to see what was the maximum of my potential, how far could I go, and what mark could I end up getting.
Yeah, that's amazing advice. And it sounds like from that, you weren't necessarily chasing, like, I really want to do law and commerce. You were saying, hey, I want to just get the best mark I can.
I didn't think I'd get into it. So I had it as my number one preference, just out of, which I think a lot of people do, it's just like, it's there, right? Because then if you don't get it, you're going to get the second one will come through, right?
Yeah, no, I love that. I think that's a much more, pure way to approach, rather than chasing an outcome. Now, admittedly, you're chasing the best result you can get, but it's more of you're more chasing the satisfaction of knowing you did your best, which is a better way to do it.
It's a lot more sustainable, I thought. It's really just personal driven. There was no kind of external motivators. You're not motivated by a scholarship or an award or something. It was more personally just, I really wanted to do as best as I possibly could.
Yeah, and having said that, if you're watching this and that you don't have that internal drive, but you are motivated by something external, I've heard of parents saying, hey, we'll give you a car if you get X mark. It's whatever works.
Yeah, exactly. And I know I would speak to other people, and they were set on doing an engineering degree at Sydney, and that was their motivation. And fair enough to them, that's how they worked. So the thing about the HSC is there's so many different approaches. Everyone approaches it differently. Because everyone's got individual circumstances.
Absolutely. It's all about what you value. So I guess the advice is, if you're resonating with what Luke's saying, then, set some goals for yourself incrementally that are based on just achieving, your potential. So maybe aim a little bit higher than what you think you're capable of. But for other people, if you're motivated by something external, create those accountability mechanisms. Just know what you value and really play into that, and constantly come back to thinking about that. I find the big driver for me, I was very similar. It's just hey, don't let yourself down. It's only 1 year, no regrets, right? For me, it was just don't regret not having gone all in. Again, not everyone will have that same approach, but that is quite powerful. And, you've got to constantly come back to it. If you're slacking off, hey, yes, give myself a break every now and then, but you don't want to regret this. It's all over in October or November. So, you may as well go all in for it.